Sometimes I gotta remember that this is an illusion. Some of us forget. Some of us, a lot of us get caught up in the facts and what's been written down, and sometimes we get too carried away in our lives, and yeah, some of the shit you just can't help but feel depressed about it or hurt about it or angry or whatever because we experience this shit. People talk about getting their mind wiped. I mean, shit. Your memory, your soul, all that is an illusion. None of that shit is real. The only thing real is the consciousness inside of you. The only thing real is how much integrity you have throughout this life and not selling out for short term gain or material gain. Because it's funny that when you do sell out, all the stuff that you've given away, you don't have it later on in your life, and then you sold something that you can't get back. At least not in your lifetime. And maybe that is good for you to reincarnate and try to learn again. Most people don't. So they just stay in this perpetual loop. That's if reincarnation is real in a sense. I mean, I think it's real because when I was little, I felt that I've been here before and this ain't my first time being here. I didn't know what I was. Some people will say that when we were here and we weren't indoctrinated, we all were atheists at some point. I agree, because I didn't believe in a God. I didn't know what a God was until my mother told me that bullshit. I ain't know about no damn God. Oh God, I gotta pray to him every day. I gotta praise him. I gotta lick his feet and tell him he's the greatest and he's the best and he's perfect. But he created a shithole full of fucked up people. Come on, man. No, God is within you. The real self, the real primordial. That's the real God. That don't mean be narcissistic and sociopathic. That means you gotta treat your neighbor as your brother, but don't let them take advantage of you. When someone does you wrong, don't hold on to the love you have for them. Cut them off. And if you're dealing with them in a situation to where you got your eggs tied up with them in their basket, shit, slowly untie the knot. And then when you untie it, dip, motherfucker. That's all I can tell you. But sometimes we forget that we're in a fucking illusion. Stop worrying about being reincarnated. Stop worrying about getting realization that none of this shit is real. It's an illusion. People want to talk about this world ending. It already has ended. It never began. It has life because you, the essence, the primordial, is giving it life. Even that little speckle of a spark is giving this shit life because it's just gonna constantly perpetuate drones and half-thinking automatons who are just basically animals. Once the real people leave, then it's just gonna be a bunch of aimless people. Aimless animals, period. There'll be no fucking simulation anymore, no illusion anymore, whatever you call it. It'd just be a bunch of drones and bots. I feel sorry for the friends I leave behind, but are they truly my friends? No, they're just animals. You feed the love that they have, and once you die, they become animals. They become back to their natural state. They just be fucking beasts. That's what it'll be. Pay attention to how people smell when they're clean and when they're just a little sweaty. And you notice when they stink a lot, it's not just because they eat dead flesh. It has a lot to do with their spirit, their soul. Sometimes I need to pay attention and rewind and look at my older stuff to remind myself. Because sometimes I go through the motions to where even I forget. Sometimes I forget what I know. And I try to go along with this shit somewhat just to cope with the fact that I'm here and that I don't have friends like that in my life like that. I got people that I help. They act like they're my friends, but they're like weekend friends. They fair weather friends. They're not fucking brothers, real brothers, you know what I'm saying? So it gets very lonely out here. If I was to put a word to it, it doesn't feel good. It feels like a fucking trap, a fucking illusion, to where it just, what's the point? Once you get it, then what's after that? Where's the love? People think about me, but it's in a condescending, pretentious way, or is how can I serve them? But they have literally nothing of actual value to me to make me feel like I should help them or provide them with a service. The entitlement of these people and how dead they are on the inside. When I can just beat them over the head and rob them and take it and kill them and be done with it. I'm just saying. I'm not saying I would do that because I'm not like that, but I think about it. The lack of consideration, the lack of care for me, what I have to do to make their shit easier. The shit that I deal with, it will make someone turn bad. A lot of people talk about this whole, oh, I'm a source player, oh, I'm a good person, all this. And then when you get to know these fucking clowns, you realize a lot of them are just like the people they talk shit about. And it's bullshit. I'm not a source player, I'm not nothing. I might be a source being or whatever the fuck. I don't care. I know I have source or spirit in me, the core, the primordial, the progenitor beyond the progenitor of this world. The great mother or whatever the fuck you call it. I know that's in me. I'm not getting caught up in euphemisms and metaphors and images. Images is how you get trapped in assimilation because you're being cerebral rather than intuitive. So you lose connection to what's really important. When you do the embryonic breath and go back to the pure state of being, then you know that you call it whatever the hell you want, but you know that you've reached that point where it doesn't matter about what's going on in the world. None of that shit matters. It's all a distraction. Just like the state of the economy. Celebrities. Why are you focusing on celebrities? Let me address some of these people out here that talk about they're in the truth. Why the fuck you keep talking about celebrities? Why do you care about what those people are doing? How is that affecting your life? It's not. It's a distraction and you feeding into it like an idiot. You're not awake. You're not enlightened. You just regurgitate information. And then when you test these people's character, that's when you find out what kind of person you're dealing with. What kind of person are you watching or listening to? Fuck the shit they're saying out their mouth. That's all a byproduct of someone else putting out their information, and they feel connected and they have somewhat of an intelligence to imagine and conceptualize and emotionally align themselves with the bullshit in the truth rather than the truth itself. Let me ask you a question. If you're enlightened, why the fuck would you get on OnlyFans? Some of these people out here, they're enlightened, they're awakened, they talk about celebrities, they feed into gossip and drama, and they got on OnlyFans. How the fuck are you enlightened? Get the fuck out of here. You're just regurgitating information. And to do some shit like that shows that you're of an opportunistic nature. That's not a real person. I'm sorry. That person is dead. Any people like that is dead. They're dead because they lost connection to integrity. How you gonna be let's say for example, you deal with someone, they sold crack to their people. They used crack and coke to get fucking, to get sex. That person doesn't really have much going on inside them. I'm sorry. They thinking about lower level activities. I had a god brother that was kind of like that. He used to sell crack. His dad used to smoke it. They were my friends. They were like, brothers to me. One was an uncle-in-law, the other one was his dad. I used to ride the truck, riding the 18-wheeler with his dad when he worked. I mean, I loved it. They were my people. I loved them and everything, but I've gotten cool with them around a time where they were trying to cut back on the shit. But for example, I saw this motherfucker one night. I'm sorry to get off topic, but I saw her one night in the backyard. I didn't even know what the fuck was going on. I just woke up. I walked to the backyard to see what's going on. I hear some music. I see this nigga fucking a bitch in the back of the car. He give her a little piece of coke. He fucked her. I was like, damn, what the fuck? What the hell you doing, man? But I'm just saying. And then I worked for this fella who I know at this community center. I'm cool with his brothers and everything. He's an older fella. And he was talking about how he gave his life to Jesus and how he used to use women, like giving them drugs, and he used to fuck them. I was shaking my head. I said, it's just in you to be the way you are. He's 80. He did that shit over 20 years ago. So you do the math. That's around the time when he stopped and cleaned up his act. You're going to wait until your 50s to... by that time, you are who you are, man. I don't care if you give your life to Jesus. But I'm just saying, like, or for example, I talked to a couple of people about this stuff, right? You get an education. You said, fuck that job because it's slow money. You're miserable working a dead-end job. So you say, fuck it, I'm going to sell my body. So you sell your body, and now you older and you wash up. Now you want to talk about integrity. You've given your integrity. What the fuck? You've played into the fucking animal system, the rules. You giving yourself to the world. You got nothing left, and you find Jesus, and it's the same cyclical shit. NPCs. It's real. Like, I used to not agree with that shit because it sounded solipsistic. But when you look at it, a lot of these motherfuckers are dead and they want to force their deadness on you so they can feel like they equal to or superior to you, a person who's sacrificed since the beginning. I mean, nobody's perfect, but there's some shit that you just can't come back from. Unless you die and get reincarnated. And hopefully you do better the next life, but most likely, because it's all essence at the end of the day. It's essence, it's potential. Some people have the essence of the demiurge. So all their wisdom is going to stop at is the quote-unquote demiurge, or the archetype for the essence of the earth and the astral realms, not the pure lands or the primordial. Because all these personas, all these different identities, they're all illusions. Me talking to my friend, me, myself, them talking to me, you, them, so forth and so forth. It's all a fucking illusion. It's not real. That's why a lot of people are fickle and a lot of them are selfish. But if you try to play by the rules and be fair, yeah, you're going to lose. You got to finesse it, but that don't mean be immoral or amoral. Sometimes you got to be a bit amoral when dealing with these motherfuckers. But at the same time, you can't be immoral because that goes against spirit. I don't know. When you're dealing with a demon, you should knock them in the head. Shit. And torment their evil ass. If you have no choice. But if you don't, just walk away, man. It's not worth it. Even if you win, you still at a loss. This world has a way of stealing from you, even in the most highest scenario case, right? So you still lose it. It's better to just not give a fuck. Live your life, man. It's not worth it. It's not worth it to feed into it. Because watch, give it enough time after you done cut those people or that shit out of your life, and watch how it blows up on itself. Yeah, they'll put on the facade they're doing well. They don't want you to know that everything evil that they going through is beating their ass up. Let it beat them up. Fuck them. Don't feel sorry for them. When you see homeless people on the side of the road, a lot of them are not good people, and sometimes you can feel that shit. Because you can talk to a brother and you can find out what kind of character he has, and then you know this brother here, he probably would do something good with what he's been given if you gave it to him. And then you find some people, they're just entitled, they have no drive, they don't give a fuck, they don't care, they think of themselves. Who wants to be in a world where the most valuable thing you can have is where you sleep? I mean, there are other things of significant value, but you have to live your entire life paying for something so you can have somewhere to sleep. So you can wash your ass and take a shit and be to yourself, and somewhere you can privately have sex or masturbate in. Like, what the fuck? When you really sit down and think about the fucking, the fucking preposterous, it's preposterous, it's absurd. Like, this is what you live for. This is what your family bring you here for. So they can get old, you get money, you take care of them. They barely take care of you, but when you get old and they get old, you gotta take care of them. You gotta live for a family name. Man, fuck that shit. Fuck a family name. Fuck having children. For what? For what? So more people can come here and live in this fucked up life? Fuck you, man. I ain't doing that shit. That's bullshit. I'm done with this whole thing. I've been done. I'm more done than I was before. I just do the bare minimum to survive. I've given up. That's why you can't find love here. Whether it's in your family, whether it's some woman, some man, if you're a woman, you ain't no love here. All the gays and all the NPCs and all the fucking bitch-made people, they got love. All the soulless people, all the half-sleep, half-woke people, they got love here. People that are aimless. And not aimless in the sense like they don't know what they're going to do with their life. I'm talking about aimless as in they don't have a true spark. They're just functioning off brain activity and a little smidge of a spark at most. That's what I mean by aimless. But they don't have the sense to see through bullshit. They don't have the sense to connect back to their inner self. They don't have the inclination to do the embryonic breathing before ever finding out about the so-called information. Because in order for you to have wisdom, you got to have character. In order for you to have union, you have to have trust. But in order to have trust, you have to have character. It all goes back to character, not how smart you are. You can learn things. Even if you're a little slow, you can learn things. But when you don't have character, there is no hope for you. You're a nigger, you're a nigger. It ain't nothing gonna change. Sorry I used that word. But it is what it is. Calling a spade is what it is. If you're just a low-grade reprobate, that's what you are. Why bring more people here just so they can experience this? I don't understand it. It's an illusion. Even back before you became enlightened and you was playing along with it, you might have slipped up and had kids. Just know that was an illusion. When you were sleeping and you didn't know yourself, and maybe at a time when you was destroying yourself because you didn't know nothing. You were ignorant. You didn't know. You were playing into the illusion. So in a way, you were a bit of an illusion back then. I was an illusion back then of myself, but I was looking at myself and questioning. Sure, other people felt the same way. We're not alone in this, in the sense that we endure this shit. The severity levels are different, which is why some of us have more wisdom than others. A wise man learns from other people's mistakes and his own. A smart man learns from other people's mistakes. A fool learns only from their mistakes and they still don't learn. They do the same shit. You can't help a fool. You can help someone who's ignorant, but a fool, let them burn. If you 30-something years old and you still ain't got it, you hopeless. If you 50-something, you're hopeless. If you're 60-something, you're hopeless. If you someone that got it early or has the inclination to get it, you're not hopeless. And I'm talking about you're hopeless if someone was putting it in front of you, you didn't give a fuck. You didn't have the drive to learn it as soon as it was put in front of you. You were thinking about getting money and having sex. It's sick. This is how you know people are an illusion. When you talk to these motherfuckers, you look in their eyes, it's blank. You can tell like how big and wide their eyes are when they get started or riled up. You can tell they ain't got nothing inside of them. They quick to turn on you with the smallest shit. All it takes is one little thing. They just, after that, it just snowballs into more and more bullshit, more pettiness, more disrespect. Fuck them. They're not your family. They're not your friends. They're not shit. If you gotta live in a fucking, you gotta walk on eggshells. You living in a glass house. Get out of that house and throw a rock at it and run. Don't come back that motherfucker. Rile their ass up. Don't let them know where you're going. And if they do find where you're going, pull a gun out on them and threaten them. Threaten to blow their fucking head off. If they come to your house, you got the right to blow their head off. If they try something. I know the system is rigged. It'll protect them. Or they'll get you for them. But if they get you, somehow they don't see that shit. For the most part, unless you're an old motherfucker, a white motherfucker, or a bitch. That's the only fucking. It seems like it's a higher propensity for them to, incite justice on those who are of the privileged class. It fucking sucks. I'm not spewing racism here because this is not the place for that. I'm not feeding into the same old narrative that has been propped up for generations. It's the people. Doesn't matter the race, it matters about the people and their perception of reality and their perception of you. That influences how they treat you. If they show you that they're not shit, then that's just what they are. It all comes full circle at the end of the day. You don't need to sit in a pose and do some humming to meditate. It's just a state of mind, it's a state of focus. It's a state of breathing, not just the breathing in your mouth. Actually, you don't breathe, or you breathe very softly, or you pause breathing to emphasize that state of focus. It's like standing on your tiptoe and holding 2 buckets of water and hoping you don't fall over. Once you get the hang of it, it's easy. You either stand on one foot or you stand on your tiptoe on one foot, balancing 80 pounds of water, both sides, or holding two 20-pound dumbbells in front of you. You're not going to breathe hard because then you'll lose stability. You breathe soft or you pause your breathing to feel the serenity and focus and how it fortifies your structure. A lot of people don't get to that point because a lot of people don't have them to wake up. It's not they don't have the knowledge. It's that they don't care for the knowledge. Once you realize this world is a trash bin, you're not going to feed into the bullshit no more. The politics, the entertainers, you name it. You're not going to care. You're not even going to care about your local politics like that. Because none of that shit really matters. Unfortunately, most people don't get to that point. They'd rather let social media tell them what to think. And when something becomes popular, they jump on it. But then they show you they're just full of shit and they're sheep anyway. So a lot of the things they were saying was bull. So, I mean, this is just an illusion. In another 100 years or so, people are going to still be fools. Nothing would change, and hopefully the technological revolution don't come and completely take away people's privacy. So it's best to opt out of this place. If you are a young man, don't bring life here. If you are an older man and you might have brought life here, don't do it again. Tell your kids not to have kids, but they're going to do what they want to do. And if they don't got no sense, they're going to knock somebody up or get knocked up. So it's what it is. I'm in my 30s right now. I ain't knocking up shit. I ain't trying to get no ass. For what? I might stick my dick in something and then all of a sudden my life goes to shit. For example, I was dealing with this female for a long time. She showed me her ways. After I cut her off, I noticed a lot of things in my life got better. Every time I see this bitch, right, my luck goes bad. Or bad things start happening in my life unexplicably. However you say that word. Unexpectedly. Unexplicitly. Whatever. It showed itself. As soon as I deal with that bitch, sometime it happened right then and there. Sometime it happened 3 days later. It goes to show, like, if I fuck this bitch, my life is gonna go to shit. So it's best to stay to yourself so you can stay clean. And I had experiences before. I just don't have them like that because that's not my focus. I'm not trying to get ass. That's not important to me. What's important to me is friendships, something meaningful while you're in this dump. But notice all the people that breed, they're the same likeness as the demiurge. They're sociopathic, they're immature, they're narcissistic, they're evil, they're materialistically driven. That's what they are. They talk about the same programmed shit. For example, black people, they talk about racism, they talk about doing stuff together. But when you look at what they're talking about and look at what they're doing in their everyday life, they're shitting their own people. they're shitting their own family. They talk about the white man. They talk about racism. They talk about all that shit. But when I started talking about how black folks be shitting each other and how black people really ain't shit, they're like, yeah, man, you right. Or the real coon would be like, oh, man, you hate your people. Or I started thinking, you hate your people. What people? I don't got no people, man. I'm a darky. I'm only black because white people say I'm black. And you're a coon to ask me what the white man is going to call me. But you want to talk about F the white man and all this. Like, you a dumb nigger, man. You dumb motherfucker. You dumb. You an NPC, man. You fucking bot. It's a joke. And a lot of these truthers are just caricatures of the so-called truth. And it makes people look bad. Whether it's the truth with the social consciousness or the racial consciousness or the fucking spiritual consciousness shit. Not the religious stuff. But the so-called source and they mix it in with this new age shit. I'm like, that's not the truth. You deterring people away from it with bullshit. You know, I've been saying this shit for a while now, but you gotta have discernment. You gotta see through it all. It just sucks that there's not that many real people here. It just goes to show you that it's just an illusion. You gotta get money. You gotta empower yourself. That's the only thing that's real here. Even if you don't get a whole lot of money, you gotta empower yourself with your knowledge base, your base of operations, your ability to finesse and finagle, your ability to make the most out of what you can get. And that's all that matters. And the loved ones that you do got, you got to hold on to them. Don't risk losing them just to be greedy or to think you're getting more loved ones, because you might lose your loved ones trying to get someone that ain't shit. You might lose the little money that you got trying to get more money, and you end up with shit. Learn. Don't talk. Listen more than you learn. Listen more than you speak. I'm learning for myself right now as I speak. I'm remembering shit that I normally don't think about sometimes. Because talking helps bring it out. It helps express. It helps you reflect. Now, if you're just talking and you're just yapping and just spewing the same old rhetoric about what skill you have or your trade or this certain part, and you know this about this, and I'm like, this is why I can't help people, because this motherfucker, he know everything. You can't tell him nothing. He knows too much. Just fuck him. Shit. You know what I'm saying? Fuck him. Take a break from those motherfuckers. Come around when it's convenient. Come around if you got to keep a promise. Come around if you got to, look out for your buddy. But at the end of the day, the motherfucker will flake on you. If the pussy tell him to stop fucking with you, he gonna listen to that pussy. That woman gonna get in his ear. Oh, he's not shit. Oh, something wrong with him. Oh, this is gossip. Fakery. Fuckery. And I see it now. Like, a lot of females are just NPCs. I know sound fucked up. I have yet to see a woman that's real, though. They'll talk that shit, and for a while they had me convinced. Then I started putting some shit out there. I'm like, this is a fucking kid. I'm not listening to that bullshit. Bye. Fuck that shit. And besides, you stick your shit in there, you might end up fucked up, nigga. I'm gonna talk like these motherfuckers. No cap. I'm fucking with you. No, for real. It's bullshit. Don't feed into it. Look past the profanity. Look past the things you don't like. and look at the truth. It's there in front of you. I'll be talking in the future. I don't know exactly when, but I hope that what I shared today actually helped. Take care.